Hey, 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 hey. Check. Check. What's up, everyone? All y'all. Um, Anybody joining in, if you could let me know if you can hear me okay, if the audio's all right. Maybe go a little tiny bit hotter. Tiny bit hotter, maybe. It's a rainy morning here. Kind of nice. Fall weather kicking in for the fall. We don't get much of a fall here. It goes pretty close from just into summer right into winter. So cherish these times before it gets freezing. Uh, so yeah, I was just hanging out this morning, making a beat on the Tonwerk, the Electron Tonwerk. Turn this up just a little bit. Let me know if there's any audio issues or anything. Anybody joining in? So yeah, been a big week for gear, right? I mean, yeah, the last couple weeks, really, right? Um, right before Machina Britannica. I forget. I'd like to go to that sometime. It looks like the next biggest thing next to like Super Booth. Kind of NAM's not really a big thing, it seems like, anymore, for at least in our world of electronic equipment, um electronic instruments. But yeah, I was going to talk a little bit today about well, we've had a lot of big stuff this week. We had the drop of the TR-1000. Amazing drum machine. Pretty blown away by it, but not gonna get it. Uh, Not at that price and not at this time. And to be honest, I don't really need. I just don't need another drum machine. The only drum machine that's on the horizon that I'm kind of interested in is the Hex drums from Erica Synths. That one looks like something I'd be more interested in. Yeah. See. But yeah, hang on one sec. All right, all right, all right. So, but yeah, I'm not sure if this is streaming through. Had some difficulties with OBS this morning. Anyhow, I'll continue on. If not, whatever. It says I'm streaming. But yeah, it's Friday. We had some big gear drops yesterday. I was talking about the TR-1000. My thoughts on that thing are, it's a beast of an incredible machine. It looks like just like one of the kings, maybe the king of all drum machines. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in the market for a new drum machine, and the only one that has my eye is the Hex drums. I don't use a lot of like 808 and 909 sounds anymore in my music. I used to use those a lot. I had going back, I've had lots of drum machines through the years. Um, those Boss Doctor 660s and 770, 880. That 660 one, if I remember the name right, that was my very first drum machine that was mine, that I wasn't just using, that wasn't like a friend's or my brother's or something. Hey, what's up, GearTube? Thanks for joining in, man. Let me know if the audio sounds okay. Um, yeah, so my thoughts on that TR-1000 was, first of all, the thing, the IO on it and everything you can do on it, incredible. Like it was mind blowing that Roland released something like that. I was my gas sense went off. Uh, the bells were ringing. I was looking at it, and I can't justify it. I've gotten too much gear over this last year to buy something like that, especially a drum machine. Geez, I don't even know if I could count the amount of drum machines and stuff, sampler drum machines I have that aren't even in the studio, that are just boxed up and put away, old ones, and excuse me. But I don't know. YouTube says was waiting for this one. All right, on man. Thank you. Everything fine. Synth fun. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you coming by. Yeah, it's an epic machine, no doubt. I would be proud to own it. It would be, it seems like one of those machines you could buy and it would just be your drum machine for life. But like I said, the 808 and 909 sounds. Now I know you could put samples into it and all that. It's just not what I go for these days. Not, and it's nothing that I can't get if I did want, just in samples. And processing through some outboard gear and some preamps, compressors, the electron analog heat, I could get a nice analog kind of sounding authentic 808s and 909s from samples, I think. And I honestly believe that I'm not sure in a mix. I don't think in a mix most people could tell. Whoop, I'm getting a little pop there. Turn down. I don't think most people could even tell the difference between samples and analog in the mix of a recording. I would wager to say that the majority of humanity wouldn't be able to tell, but it doesn't take away that it's super cool. I mean, an analog drum machine from Roland, 40 years, like it's incredible and super cool. And it does look to me like something with the IO and everything. I know people are saying it's a professional drum machine. Some people don't like that. I know Echo didn't like the way they said that, Echo Craft. I think what it means by professional is like it's more for the touring musician, the studio, like guys who invest in really expensive amounts of rack gear, of compressors, preamps, and all this fancy, expensive ass studio equipment. I could see people like that jumping on this. That price is nothing compared to actual like pro studio gear that like you would find in a pro studio if you went to book time. So I can see why people are saying it's a professional thing. And just the amount of ins and outs and how you can connect it to everything. I mean, this machine has everything in it. They really just put everything, the kitchen sink, all that, and a bag of chips. So it's pretty amazing. I can't say that I don't want one, but I'm definitely not going out to grab it. And the price has a lot to do with it, but also just as much, more than the price actually, is that it's just in what it is, the sounds in it and whatnot. I just feel like I could get a lot of those capabilities with what I have already. So not something that's like going to bring something new into my studio, but it's still badass. What do you guys think about it? I know there's been a lot of talk of it. I waited until the hype died, and we're going to get into the major hype from yesterday. That was quite a barrage of videos and stuff on the new MPC Live 3, which is super amazing. Also, I was really blown away at the advancements of the new MPC Live 3. Wow. I mean, it was the pads, the MPE technology, the clip launching. It seems like the Force, like more Force than MPC. But we'll get into the MPC. We'll finish off with the TR. Um, yeah, I could see down the road, because I'm such a dork nerd when it comes to drum machines. I really want one just to have one. Not necessarily like I have a collection of drum machines. Like I don't consider myself a music gear collector, even though it's kind of gotten that way. But when it comes to drum machines, that's something I could see having like a glass case with all of my drum machines in it and stuff. Like how I have a buddy who collects old toys and has glass cases, and I could see doing that with drum machines, having it on display as conversation type piece. But that machine, um, it's I just with what I have for drums right now, I feel really good about. I feel really like happy and content with the amount of sounds and what I can do with the Perkins, the 2D fams, the Syntact, and then the GR Mega doing my granular drums with the instrument for MPE, which is very similar to what you get on the new live. Not to mention, all the drum sounds I can get and make on my synths to sample, and my MPC X for drums. I've got Digitact. I mean, I feel like that I'm just so covered drum wise. Now the Hex drums is one that I'm interested in. I don't know that I'll grab it. But yeah, I feel like it's really pretty covered there in that aspect. So hey, Inhibited, the TR. Yep, talking about the TR. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you. Um, see, I can see use for the TR for people wishing to do one or two BOS performances. Oh, yeah. I mean, I see a lot of uses for it, really. I mean, it could fit into a modular setup. It could fit into, um, it could fit into a lot of different scenarios. I could see it a lot for like live touring musicians and stuff. Um, Studio uses. I see a lot of potential there. And I keep trying to tell myself I don't need it because it's 808 and 909 sounds with samples, right? I have all that. But I mean, honestly, watching like some of the videos, like what you can do to those tune and envelope followers, all the stuff you can do, compared to just a regular 808 or 909, the synthesis you can do on the sounds, incredibly impressive. I mean, I want one. I can't lie and try and pretend, but I can't justify it. Like, and not just the price. It's I can't justify that big of a piece of equipment coming in here that's not bringing enough for me. Um, and you know what? If I was going to get anything right now, I'm looking at the TR8S prices drop down low enough. If I pick up a TR8S for like $400 or something, I'd snag that. Um, James Farr, what's up? Whoa, incredible collection, man. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Have a grandmother here on my desk, but that's it. So cool. Yeah, appreciate it, man. It's been a lifelong journey to get here. So grandmother rules, man. Grandmother was my first Moog that I ever got, and one of my most endearing synthesizers I own. I actually have some wood cheeks, and I just been too lazy to put them on. It's a whole thing. I got some wood cheeks like a few weeks ago. I might do that this weekend because she deserves it. Get some purdy wood cheeks on there. But yeah, thanks James for coming by. Enjoy your grandmother. That's an amazing synth. I'm a huge fan of the grandmother. Synth fun. I like the TR1000, and will be grateful for some people. Will be great for some people. It gives you a lot in one box. It sure does, man. It sure does. And honestly, I think I'm more impressed with it than I am the MPC Live 3. Because for me, I'm very into like these days the sound of things and what you get from sound, and I think with the analog circuits in there, with everything it's got, I think it's got a beefy, nice sound. They obviously spent some serious time perfecting this thing, and you know, it's amazing. It's so cool to see. I hope this leads to seeing some more recreations or newer analog gear from them. I am a fan of analog. I think it does add a lot. Now, I do believe you can get that with other analog equipment, outboard equipment, but it's nice to just have a good sound right out of the device. People go off about, the sonics of the new MPCs and how they sound thin or transparent, and I agree with a lot of that. But with some outboard equipment like a preamp compressor or man, the Electron analog heat is probably, I think, one of the greatest studio secret weapons that a lot of people are not like hip to. um and you don't have to get that super expensive new one with effects. If you have effects, why you don't need it, you know what I mean, unless you want that. But excuse me, you can get an MK1 analog key that's basically that same circuit for like I think $400 or $500. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. I have the MK2, which is the older one now too, also because they came out with that new one with effects. But I mean, that thing, I use it on everything. Everything you hear in my music, on my recorded videos, not necessarily all my jams, but anything that I record, like into my DAW as something to release, everything goes through the analog heat, including sometimes the final mix. I'll even put that. Now I don't use it with overbridge. I can hear it doesn't sound the same to me with overbridge. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think to me, it just sounds like a plug-in at that point. And like other saturators and stuff that I have in the box. Um, yeah, analog heat can anyway. Like I said, let me get in the chat here and make sure I'm not missing anybody or anything. Who do we got joining in? GearTube says more professional gear of that sort is a good thing. Hell yeah. A pro Octatrack is what I'd wish for, man. You and a lot of us. Good converters, more I/O, good preamps, an all-in-one response to the Live 3. Yeah, I mean, the Live 3 really put it out there for. I mean, they're taking on everybody with that thing, as far as push 3 users and across the board. My thing with it, with the Live 3 though, is it's so close to just being in the box. It's just a DAW. It's become a DAW in a box in a workstation, and that's not how I like to use my MPCs. I'm more of, I like to sample into them, use them as drum machines, use them for just not. I'm not a workstation kind of person. I do work a lot outside of the box with my music, with hardware, obviously, and then record into the my interface, just 2-channel stereo. So it's almost DAWless, but I mean, I go into the DAW and then do some minor, some sometimes limiting or adding a little bit of this or that before I release it. I don't do a whole lot in the mix. I usually try and get it as best I can. And I don't like, for any of my equipment, people really like the audio over USB and all that going directly in over bridge. I'm not a fan of that. I find that using the converters going in and out of equipment really brings that sauce to my ears that I like. As EA Ski would say, the sonics. I find that to be absolutely true. That's why using the analog outs on stuff, bringing it into that analog realm and running it through other equipment, I think really adds to the sound. It's not so sterile to me. It gives it a little bit more. I don't want to use the common term, the warmth and all that, but it makes it breathe more. It gives it more of a pleasant thing to my ears, and that's all I really care about. If it sounds good to me, at the end of the day, if your music doesn't sound good to you, then you're probably not doing it right. And that's not to say you should get analog gear or do it this way or that way. I'm not. This is just for me personally. how I work in my studio and how I record and do all my songs is very much a part of running it through other things, you know, whether it be the ASRX Pro, which I basically use as a processor. The SB202 I'll use sometimes to just run through some drums or a kick through to get a little bit of grit and dirt. That's another. I'm gonna do some episodes on like studio secret weapons, effects, and different things that are like that I use that I consider secret weapons, and that some of them aren't so secret, but you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll get more into the live 3 here in a minute. But yeah, man, an Octatrack, a pro level Octatrack nowadays would be so phenomenal. And I did grab a Tonevert, and not because I wanted it to be an Octatrack 3. I did some real long research on that, and I'm really blown away with the Tonevert, especially the sound. When I talk about like the sound of things, that's why I'm more. For a brief minute there, I thought about send the Tonevert back, get a Live 3, or even put it towards that TR-1000. But when I really like weighed everything and what I'm getting and going to get, what the Tonevert is going to become, I'm firmly believe is going to be a way different device than just like a drum machine or an MPC style thing. I was working on a beat this morning for the Tonevert. I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to record it and submit it if I make it on time for popcorn night tonight for Symptoms of Reality. If you guys don't know Symptoms of Reality, shout out Trusto, Moser, Maryland. Awesome people over there, awesome community. On Fridays, they do the popcorn night where you can submit your music and everybody hangs out in the chat and listens to everybody's music. Super cool. Great community, great people. Symptoms of Reality, Monkey Island. Go subscribe, go check them out. Great people, super cool. So let's see here. Oh, we got James says, yeah, it's an amazing machine. Modular synth racks are still a mystery to me, but would love to dive into it soon. Yeah, James, I've really held back as hard as I could. I mean, from full-on Euro rack, I've got a lot of semi-modular gear. I've got a lot of test equipment, which my test equipment walls, my End of the World machine was originally built as a cheap option to do modulars without having to go down this super expensive Euro rack rabbit hole. But the size of it is like 10 times the size. It's almost done. I am 98% done to completing the new End of the World machine version 2.0, 3.0, I guess, maybe. So this would be the third studio it'd be in. But yeah, man, modular, that's a whole thing. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty well covered with, I've got the Moogs, the Voltage Lab 2 from Pittsburgh Modular has really scratched that itch for me. Because I was really wanting to get a rack and build one. And then with the 2600 Cobalt, being able to patch that, I mean, it's basically a modular to me. But yeah, it's a whole world. An expensive one, too. Simon Greatpatch, welcome, sir. Welcome. Good to see you, Simon. Thank you for jumping in. Let's see. George G's in the house. What's up, buddy? Thanks for cruising in. Hope you're having a good day. What's up, Renegades? Inhibited says, let's see. With the MPC, I also wonder if it's too much. Know what I mean? Yes, I do. I know exactly what you mean. That was my first thought. I could see my workflow being better on the TR, yeah. But then I'm totally into my Akai 2K, yeah, the 2000 because of lots of limitations. 2000 XL, nice. Yeah, limitations, man. I mean, they really, I know it's kind of cliche saying of that they breed creativity and all that stuff, but I find that to be true. Yeah, when I watched those MPC videos, because it was so funny that the Sweetwater one leaked the night before, and they did this I don't know if it was with the MPC one plus or one of the keys, but within the last 2-3 years, they did this before, where they the night before they dropped it before it was actually released. Um, I think it's so they can get like sales or whatever, but they ended up taking that one down, and it's because there was some misinformation in it. I think it was on the One Plus. They said that it had like extra gig, like the XSE or something like that, or maybe it was the XS. No, it was one of the other ones, but they had some misinformation in it, and they ended up deleting that video. The Sweetwater, it was the same guys from this video too, so they knew what they were doing. It was kind of funny. Um, but yeah, man, it was almost overwhelming, the amount of like, and I think it's super super amazing. And I will say this, I forget whose video I was watching. Someone was like, I think it might have been the Sonic State one with Andy Mack in them, or no, I forget. But one of the videos, they were talking about the MPE with drums, and they were like, "Oh, it's a whole new thing that nobody's done before and whatnot." I've been talking about MPE with drums for like years now. Ever since I got the instrument, I just made a video, like a whole video about it, like a month ago or something, with the GR Mega, saying how freaking amazing MPE is with drums. And I thought that was funny that they're like, "Oh, nobody's ever. It's something totally new." And it's like, um, I do think it's pretty cool that like it's being introduced to the regular beatmaker MPC scene. A lot of those people, I know, they're hesitant. They're like, "What am I gonna do with MPE? I don't need that and stuff." But once you try it, I bet a lot of these people are gonna be blown away. There's gonna be some conversions, I think. And you gotta, big shout out Roger Lynn, creator of the MPC. Now, and I said in my MPC leak video a few weeks back, I specified that I think that it's highly possible that Roger Lynn has licensed his Linstrument technology for these things. Now they've rebranded it as MPC. What do they call it? MPCE 360 technology? They don't just call it MPE. It's kind of a cheesy marketing thing, in my opinion. I don't really think it's like they should have just called it. It's got MPE pads. Granted they might be a little different, but it's basically like 4 instrument squares on each one, right? Now, Linstrument, so it gives you 64. I've got 128 in front of me right here with an actual instrument, and I can hook it up to anything. Now, I think it is dope that you can get, if it's like it's going to be an MPE controller now, you can hook it up and control anything with MPE, I'm assuming. I think that's super dope. But yeah, I mentioned this, I brought it up, and I haven't heard anybody say anything about that, about the pads being like maybe Roger Lynn. Now I'm hearing some people mention it. Maybe someone talked about it before me. I'm not trying to say like, but that was my first thought, because over a year ago, or about a year ago, was it? Roger Lynn got sent the MPC Live 2 and did the first video. I think he did 2 videos with it, with the instrument next to it. And he was very praising of the MPC. And he said in the comments, people were saying Roger Lynn hates the new MPCs, and that's just not true at all. He said that like he thinks they're that they're amazing devices, and has praised them. And you watch the video, he said in comments, and he said to me personally, like that he thinks the MPCs are cool. So people saying that, you're wrong. People saying that like that he is part of this whole thing, and this is a Roger Lynn, you're wrong too. He said he is not. His name and his thing is not going to be associated with MPC again. But did he make an agreement to license the technology is very reasonable of an assumption, because if not, they basically just stole it, or not stole it, but you know what I mean, like kind of took his idea, whatever you want to call it. And if that's the case, after all that man has done for that company and for the world of tech, of our music tech, that would be, I'd kind of really have a bad taste in my mouth. So I kind of want to know that. I kind of want to know, even though maybe Roger doesn't want people to know. If he just licensed it and he got, I'm hoping that's the case, and that he got a handsome payday, because that man deserves all the flowers and all of the, accolades and he deserves to get paid. Dude should be like, anyhow. But yeah, the whole like MPE with drums, that's something I've been going off about for a while, for a long while. All right, let's see. We got Warhard Arts. Welcome, sir. The OnePlus didn't add much. No, not at all. What was it? I think it had Bluetooth or something. Was like really, it had no additional RAM or maybe you got an extra plug-in or two or something when you bought it. But yeah, it was not a big step up. And I had the one at that time, I believe. I think it was before I got my XSE. I still have the one, the original. But yeah, it didn't add a lot at all, for sure. Let's see. Uncle Chrome, sir, welcome. Welcome. Appreciate you guys all joining in. Warhart says, I might look into a new MPC next year, but it still sounds like an MPC to me. Yeah. And I mean, my gas went off a little bit on it. Hey, Later Inhibited, thanks for dropping by, man. Appreciate it. I have conflicting views on this Live 3. First of all, I feel like the direction and I've spoken on this, I feel like the direction that they've been going with the MPCs for a while now is more workstation. You know what I mean? And I'm not really that into that. I don't need a bunch of plugins and effects. I mean, the effects are cool, but all the instruments and VSTs, a lot of it seems like it's just getting bloated. And now with all this new stuff, adding the Force into it, merging the Force with it, it's super cool. Clip launching seems super cool. And I did think it was a nice thing that they with the new update, you can pay. It's kind of lame you have to pay, but it is what it is. I'm not going to criticize that. At least they made an option for it to upgrade our older MPCs. And I did get the Pro Pack with it for my MPC XSE, and that's cool, But at the same time, it's just becoming more and more of a DAW in a box, a workstation, a DAW, digital audio workstation that you can have standalone. And at what point is the difference? Because people are like, "Oh, I work standalone," in the MPC crowd, that's a big difference between those in controller mode and those in standalone. Like, I use it both. To me, it's not a big deal. They both have their benefits, but like, at what point does standalone become any different except you don't have a mouse? That's like, I don't know. But it's pretty phenomenal what they've come out with, the technology of it and everything about it. I mean, it's mind blowing to think of what that device is capable of. Somebody can get one of those and just forever make anything. But it also, I've seen All True West was talking about like these lives and live twos being like, it's like the Switch 2, the little portable handheld with speaker and microphone. And I don't think that, but it was kind of funny he said that. As far as being like people are going to make bangers on it, and I think it's super awesome. Ooh, moving the camera. Sorry. Got a little precarious setup with the camera. My webcam thing broke on the bottom, so I kind of just got to place it. I have the other camera set up. I got two other cameras, but I'm using those for something different at the moment. New videos coming out. But anyway, let's see here. Bloatware. Yeah, exactly, Uncle Chrome. Exactly. It really feels like it's like just almost overwhelmingly too much. And I think for a lot of old heads, like myself, but more so like some of the other guys who, like, I'm into like the Electron world and some more different types of, I don't want to say advanced, but different from your traditional just beat making on an MPC, like pads, chopping a sample, The regular thing. I think Akai is kind of leaving some of those people uh, behind on this release is and it's going to bring in a whole bunch of new people. You're going to get a lot of Ableton and Push 3 and people and different types of they're and I it's kind of smart on their part. We'll see. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. I laugh at Dallas Jams. Yeah. It's funny. I made a meme a long time ago. It was about like it correlated like being a vegan and people were Dallas because it's like, I am Dallas. Like it's like, I'm vegan. Like they have like this weird entitled, but nothing wrong with being vegan or Dallas, guys. I'm not, knocking. I work in a hybrid world. I use hardware and software combined. I think that's the best for me. Um, I don't like to limit myself to anything. Sometimes I'll do a Dallas jam. What I'm doing today with the Tonework, this beat is, just on one device. That I'm gonna try if I have time after this stream. What time is it? Yeah, I should have time. I think I have till noon or something, maybe, or even maybe till 2 to submit for popcorn night. I was gonna do a Tonework jam. I made a beat on the Tonework because it is not a doorstop. I know Machines One is not apparently able to use his, but I am using the hell out of my Tonework, and it's freaking amazing. So I'm gonna make a beat on it. Like everybody who's at the doorstop, as Echo Craft would say, "Va fangul." Yeah. It's the Tonework is dope, and I would rather have the Tonework than the MPC Live 3 all day long right now. So, but it was cool to see that they offered that for our legacy machines. They offered the new Live 3 software with the new stuff. I was happy to see that because I wanted to try out some of the features on it on my MPC. I was hoping we'd get some stuff. So at least they offered it. We'll see how that goes. And I've got 4 gigs of RAM in my XSE. So that should help with processing some of these new things without taxing it. Let's see here. Ooh. What would be your dream machine? My dream machine. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like I have it almost complete right here in the Waldorf Quantum. Now, it doesn't do everything, maybe, but I mean, I can sample, I can multi-sample. I've got granular, I've got an insane FM engine, wave folding. I mean, if you want to get a synth that's like for forever gonna challenge you and learn on, a used MK1, you can find, if you watch for a while, you can find them under $2,000. I mean, for under $2,000, like, with the capabilities of this, I would take this over almost any piece of gear out there. But also, then the GR Mega is another dream one for me. Oh, and a big thing is Waldorf just released with this got kind of brushed under. Only Quantum and Iridium fans or owners are in the know or excited, but they just released a giant new firmware yesterday or day before yesterday. Totally got overshadowed by all this gear, but it's got full implementation of MIDI 2.0, which is huge, huge. I've been waiting for this for years. They've been talking about this, and full enhanced MPE support. So now I can use my instrument with the Quantum like extremely. It's become the fact that they don't even make the Quantum anymore, and that they're still doing incredible updates. So all the Iridium updates that they do come to the Quantum as well, MK1 and MK2. MK2 has the polyphonic aftertouch. I don't really care about that. I'd rather use MPE in my instrument. I'm not a fan of the MPE on keys. I didn't like the way the Osmos. It's just not for me. But I'm also not a huge keys player. I mean, I play, but not I'm not like a keyboard player, not a pianist or anything. I'm a bass player. I come from a different background of strings, and that's why I like the instrument, because I can play it. It's laid out like a bass guitar, and I could play it and have that kind of expression. But man, the stuff on this new update. So I mean, but then the GR Mega is another kind of dream machine for me. It's one that I've dreamed of for years, having granular, the amount of synthesis and granular with MPE is something that I've been dreaming of, and I got that. Um, it's hard to like think of. I mean, an all-in-one box that would be my dream machine. Like, I mean, it would basically be like everything from the Quantum with the GR Mega with like the Tonewerk, uh, and then maybe obviously like, I mean, GR Mega and the Quantum are both samplers, so I'm a huge into sampling. And the multi-sampling also. Everybody's going off about the Tonewerk and MPC. I'm going to do a comparison between the MPC X, the Tonewerk, and the Quantum on multi-sampling, just to compare speeds, how well it sounds. But the multi-sampling capabilities on the Quantum are phenomenal. This thing is just a top tier synthesizer. Desert Island for me at this point. And I do love the Muse too, but this is a different animal. This is an analog, it's just a different beast altogether. Quantum's super deep digital synthesis. Yeah. See, Uncle Chrome says, okay, got my dream platform here and crank out tracks with it. Hell yeah, Uncle. That's what's up. Find what works for you, what makes you happy, what like makes you be able to feel inspired and be creative. Doesn't matter what you have. And I've always, tried to preach, you don't need a bunch of gear around you. Like some people, I've seen people that just have a pocket operator and a Volca and are happy and just jam and make banging stuff. So it's all about what makes you happy. But he asked me what my dream piece of gear was, and like I said, it'd be GR Mega mixed with the. Okay, I'll revise that a little bit. It'd be the Quantum mixed with the GR Mega with an MPE instrument controller, with analog circuits in it as well, analog filters and effects. Now there is an analog filter on the Quantum, so yeah, I don't know that. The idea of my dream machine changes all the time. You know what I mean? So, let's see here. Destructo, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming in. The only difference is pretty much the MPC workflow as far as if you like the feel of hitting the pads, because in all reality, it has been just a DAW in a box now. Yep. Yeah, I mean, and there. And it's like a DAW in a box and mixed with a workstation is what it reminds me of, right? And that's kind of what's turning me off a little bit from the newer ones, as far as, I don't know, just too much, bloated with too many features. But at the same time, it's amazing, and I think it's cool, and I do want one. They release a new X, as we were talking about. I'm going to look hard at it, and I'll probably end up maybe getting one. We'll see. I barely messed around with the new Live 3. I installed the new update in the Pro Pack on the X SE, and just started messing. It's just too much. I was like, I don't really feel like spending all this time learning right now. I just wanted to make some music. So I kind of put it away and started. I've been working with the Tonewerk. I made this beat on the Tonewerk that I'm gonna record it and put it on, submit it to Popcorn tonight. Just have a little live jam on there. I worked in software development for a while. We called it creeping features, and yeah, it happens a lot, huh? Oops, where'd I go? Just jumped way up on me. Oh, I'm way behind, guys. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, jumped way up. Give me a moment. Okay, here we go. Uncle says, YouTube, my world is centered on VCV rack as DAW and used to control. You know what? I have VCV rack and I messed around with it a little bit. I need to get more into it. It seems super dope. You know what? I was thinking about that because with the Tonewerk and the quantum multi-sampling, I could use sounds from that and then make them polyphonic and stuff. I thought that might be something good as a sound source for that. Recon, what's good, brother? Thanks for coming in. George says, oh, talking to Destructo there. Let's see. Thank you guys for all joining in. Appreciate it. How are the Waldorf's grand pianos? I haven't done a lot of piano sounds on them. I've messed with some of the presets. I've just kind of been exploring the engines and what I can do, and then learning the multi-sound. I've only had it like a month and a half or something. And I had other stuff going on, so I only have spent so much time. I've gone through the presets, but I'm sure there's got to be some good piano sounds in there. I would imagine. Let's see. $2,000. Never spend that on a synth. Never spent that on a synth, dude. I mean, when these really originally came out, they were $5,000. And then the MK2 at one point, I think it was like 6,500 or something. So for under $2,000, it was like 1,800 to get this thing. You know, I wanted it for years. I wanted it. It was number one on my list for a long, long time. Let's see, VCV rack. Oh, you're not familiar? Yeah, go subscribe to Uncle and check out some of his jams. He makes great stuff. Great music with VCV rack. Very cool. Uncle Chrome is good dude. Everybody go subscribe. Let's see. Ton of his. Yeah, he's got a bunch of music on his channel, man. Really cool stuff. I'm way behind, huh? Different bloat. My dream all-in-one is your 505 looper. Yeah, you're set, man. I think having your setup and what you do, Recon, seems to be like it's just like you found your workflow, you found your niche of like what works for you to get your ideas out, and that's what it's all about right there. If you're not subscribed to Reconsider Its Music Sketchpad, go over there. He does like almost pretty much daily streams of jamming, and now he's doing some really cool talking videos. I caught part of your stream afterwards. Was that yesterday? Really cool to see that you're doing some other stuff of discussion streams and stuff. I think I like that. Keep doing what you're doing, dude. Everyone go who's not subscribed. He's super talented dude, badass rapper too. Yeah, so Simon, have you ever tried the Summit? No, Simon, I haven't tried the Summit. I tried a friend's Peak, and I really like it. Summit and Peak, those would be two that I would not kick out of bed. You know what I mean? I think they're really cool. I came close to getting a secondhand Peak at one point. I'd love to have the Summit. Just space for full size keyboards is so limited now that I'd have to shuffle ones in and out. But I could see down the road getting a Peak because the desktop format. I always thought it would pair perfect with Hydrasynth, and I'd like to compare those two. They seem like they're kind of in the same, different sonically and sound wise and capabilities, but kind of, I could see those being super badass in a setup. But man, I'd love to. I've always heard good things about the Summit. So let's see. Summit looks great, but happy with just a Peak here. Yeah, VCV loves playing the Peak. Nice. That's a dope setup, Uncle Chrome. I don't have one, but I played one at Synthfest last year, and it stood out for me. Nice. Yeah. Everybody I know who has a Summit, it stays with them. It's like it seems like a little bit underrated, like flies under the radar compared to a lot of the other a lot of stuff out there. I think Yeah, who was it that was it Venus Theory who got one and was going off about it? It's like one of the staples in his thing for making soundtracks and video game music and stuff. So people get overwhelmed trying out VCV. Yeah, since so many modules choices, secret is to get a good template to produce and start from there. That makes sense. Yeah, when I first got on it, there's probably a newer version now. I first got on it like I don't know, is it 2019 or 2020? Long time ago, and didn't I haven't used it a lot through the years. I used it then for a bit, and it was a little overwhelming even then. So I'm sure it's like kind of crazy now. Recon 2000 is relatively low for a powerful synth. I think so. Recon. I think for something like the Quantum, I think it's an absolute like steal. To say relatively powerful is like the ultimate understatement. This is like the most powerful beast of a synth that I've ever used or like even come close to using. And I've got a lot of synthesizers. Um, the only thing that I can think like that would even compare would be like the old Access Virus. Yeah, I mean, I'm really hard pressed to think of anything as powerful as a Quantum. What it can do, its samples, FM synthesis, granular synthesis, wave folding, resonant. So you can do. It does so much, and like and it's laid out so nice. It's got an analog filter. It's like, I don't know. I think it's deep doesn't even begin to describe it. It's going to take me my whole life to and I'll never master the thing, and I've been messed with synthesizers all the time, so I love that. I love something that I'm not going to get bored of, is always going to challenge me. I can always find a new thing to do and new way to use, and it's got inputs, you can run things through it, and like that's something I've been really wanting to do a video on, is like how important inputs are on devices, synths and stuff, that you can run other stuff through it, your voice, your drums, anything, and use it as for effects or anything to sample or record into something else. It just seems like an underrated feature that it's on a lot of synthesizers, but just not a lot of people seem to talk about it. I don't, and it's something I use all the time. Run stuff through Granny. You got the spring reverb, the actual real spring reverb in there and stuff. Um, yeah, it's I think it's a something that's very cool, and not really. I'm sure a lot of people are utilizing it, but I just don't hear anybody talking about it. So, um, yeah. Let's see. What do we got? Uncle says classic dilemma and synths. Great synthesis versus acoustic sounds. Piano. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I use VSTs usually for like good piano sounds. I've got like the Arturia stuff. I generally find that like synthesizers just don't quite give me the same like acoustic. If I'm wanting that, I just don't get that kind of sound. That's why I use VSTs for that, and I have no shame in that. They want you to believe that. A lot of money in the key bed and case. Yeah. I mean, some synthesizers are definitely overpriced. For sure. For sure. I think that, this has an incredible key bed on it and whatnot. I mean, used, if you can find one used for that type of price, I think it's more than a steal. Let's see. Made a vid last week with Peak, Sledge, and Hydra. I missed that one, Uncle. All getting played and modded with VCV. I don't get your videos coming through. YouTube's been kind of lame lately with like what it's showing me, even on my subscriptions, because you got your main feed and then you go to your subscriptions page, and even on there, a lot of stuff isn't showing up. It's kind of pissing me off. I've been missing a lot of things from people that I'd like to see. It's like still trying to push shit from the algorithm, even in your subscription feed, it seems like. And it's like, that didn't used to be that way. It used to be like more of stuff of people you subscribe to as it just came out or recently came out. Kind of frustrating me. And my main feed has been garbage lately. Like I'll watch one video just briefly on something, whether it be maybe it's a news story or like a thing of a history thing or something, and then the whole freaking thing is all news and like AI history shit, and like it's just like, God damn it, why'd I click on that video? It's lame that you can't. It's like you got to be careful what you watch, or it ruins your whole freaking feed. It's kind of lame. I'll go check out that video, Uncle, for sure. The sledge, man. The sledge is something I think looks really cool. You get the Waldorf in there, right? Yeah, I've always been interested in that one. And the Hydra, of course, love it. Traded 2 mics for my Peak. Oh, must have been some good mics, huh? Mics were probably worth more. Dang, that's cool though. You can't. I mean, a Peak. You can't be mad about that, dude. I would love to have one of those. VCV now has almost 3,700 modules. Good Lord. But I only have about 3,200. Damn, Uncle. Damn. Anyone? Ooh, let's see. Can't recall your locale anywhere in the DC. No, Uncle, I'm far. I'm in Nevada. Way north Nevada. Close up near the Utah border, kind of way out in a small rural area, northern Nevada. Welcome, come join our monthly jams. That'd be awesome. I wish there was something like that around here. That's cool. You guys do that. That's super cool. Simon's Great Batch. The man, the myth says deepest synth I have is the Yamaha EX5. Processor is underpowered and the SCSI is terrible, but you can get some incredible sounds out of it. Nice. Never used that one. I know Yamaha has some pretty deep stuff. Is that like a 90s one, Simon? I'd have to look up that model. I'm not familiar with the EX5. I haven't used a lot of like higher end Yamaha stuff. I had like, I still have like a couple old, oh man, what is it? The PS series or something? Some old ones that I had like before I started getting good synthesizers and stuff. And then I grabbed like one or two from a thrift store. I've got like a modern kind of one of those cheaper whatever ones that they come out with now. It was like $5 I grabbed because I was planning on circuit bending it. But it's just out in the garage with on the piles of projects that I'll get to someday when I get to retire. But I'll have to check that one out. Let's see. I'm always drawn to my Roland SR-JV water piano and LA piano presets. Nice. I've been using the Behringer VC340 for the strings lately, playing piano on that. I run that thing through the Chroma console, and it's just heavenly, angelic. My only complaint is I wish the keyboard was bigger. Because when I'm playing like that, it's when I practice. I've actually been gone back to like really trying to practice my keys more because I'm not a great keys player. Never will try and say that I'm a piano keys player, but I'm trying. I've been into my Inside Music book. I broke out some of the old piano books, just going through and relearning some scales and trying to just get better. I find that just brushing up on theory and just trying to get better. And I've been using the string machine for that, as well as the Quantum. There's sounds in there of just like key sounds. But like I said, when I want to do like real piano sounds, I find like the Arturia stuff, or even in my MPC. The MPC has some pretty nice piano sounds in there. So let's see. I only do a monthly dump in my shows. Stop posting vids as I made them for the show. Gotcha. Yeah, I saw a couple videos. You put up some videos I saw of other people. I don't know if that was on your channel or maybe it was on the SOR. Yeah, I remember seeing that of your thing. Yeah, that's how the algorithm for you as a creator. How's the algorithm for you as a creator? It varies. Lately it's been good. The last few videos I've had, it's pretty rare that I'll have three in a row that like get somewhat picked up. But the last three, but I think it's just because the topics, people, if you strike the right thing that people are interested in, and at that time it can get carried over. NPC stuff always just seems to do pretty good. I don't often do it, but whenever I do, those videos seem to do real well. Um, and just anytime like gear leak stuff, I don't know. These last three, I kind of hit struck gold with as far as decent high views and watch time hours. But it varies, Then I can put out a video, depends, and it gets like 200 views or 100 views or whatever. So you never know. I don't make any money or anything from this. It's just, but it's cool to try and grow the channel, and I like to see the video. Obviously, see the videos do good. I don't know. I did something right in the last few. Samurai would say, glazing. I'm glazing, baby. Shout out Sin Samurai. That dude cracks me up so hard. Which congrats to him. He just hit 5,000 subscribers yesterday. That's awesome. Huge. He put in the work, man. He put in the work. I've never put in that kind of work. I have been over this last month putting out a lot more stuff, and yeah, the algorithm, it seems pretty like it's pretty good for me as of late. But we'll see. The thing is, if you stop uploading and you take a break, then it just like it drops you. Like you don't get as much generally. It can vary, I don't know how the thing works, but yeah, it's kind of it's hit and miss. It's like Russian roulette. But last few have been good. We'll see how this next one does. I have a feeling these next two videos I put out are not going to be as popular. Well, I'm going to throw up the jam with the tone work of this beat, but that's just for a popcorn night thing. I don't expect, anytime I just do music or jam, those videos never, ever do very good. Almost never. If I'm talking about the gear and then doing something and then demonstrating, some of those will do all right. But generally, the only ones that the algorithm ever picks up or does good for me, it seems like, are videos where I sit there and talk. People like to hear you talk. Live streams don't seem to do very good. Don't get a lot of views. They don't do bad, I think to get your channel up there with just live streams, you'd have to do so many, and then even then, look at Symptoms of Reality, do them every day. I don't know what kind of watch hours and all that stuff they get, but for amount of views and watch time hours, it seems like long form content, and there's certain little things I noticed. If you're making stuff and you'd like to know this behind the scenes stuff from my viewpoint, it seems like if you put out a video talking, number one, about a subject that people are interested in, a piece of gear or whatever it is, usually that alone will help it. But then there's other little things I notice, like don't watch your video right after you upload it. Watch it before you upload it, and make sure there's no errors in the sound and all that's good. But once you post it, don't go in and watch it. Every time I've done that, that video doesn't do very well. If I don't watch it, I've noticed, it'll all of a sudden take off more. It's I don't know. Maybe it's weird. I've heard a couple other people say that since then, because I noticed that. Because I would usually upload and then I'd go and give it a one watch through. That's when I'd do my test, make sure it's not fucked up, right? So I thought that was interesting. Also, if you want it, it seems to help if you make a comment right away on it, to help. It starts the whole comment process. That helps the algorithm. The more comments and people on there and likes, obviously, will push it for people to look. But I don't know. I'm trying not to get too much into the, I'm not I'm never going to be a synthfluencer dude or nothing, and I don't want to be, But what I do here is I want to talk about gear, production, That kind of stuff I want to have, and build a community with like-minded people. So I don't plan to ever be like make money at this or anything. Every piece of gear I have in my studio, I paid for myself. I have no affiliate links or any bullshit like that. This is an honest renegade channel. So, as I'm sure you guys know. Let's see. So I'm not sure I want to see you dumping. When he said that at first, I was like, what the? Don't forget to wipe. You guys are funny. Sold a Blofeld to get the sledge. Nice. I hear good things about the sledge. Blofeld, I never had it. My friend had it, and I did play with one. Seems really cool. Like the Blofeld. Sledge seems badass, though. You got the black one or the yellow one, Uncle? Is it black or yellow? Those are the two colors, I think. I like those presets too, Uncle Chrome. Pat Brady, welcome. Scuzzy, old school. Thanks for joining in, Pat. Oh, it jumped on me again. Damn chat. Let's see. Oops. Oh, it jumped away. Sorry about that, guys. I'm way behind again. Was going off. Uncle says, Roland XP30, probably the deepest synth here since basically multi-timbre workstation. No? You're probably right. Chord Karma and Ensonic Fismo. Oh man, Fismo was always one of those ones that was like my unicorn. And it pissed me off because there was this dude here locally who was a dentist apparently, and he passed away. And I ended up getting a bunch of his gear. His wife sold a bunch of his gear on Facebook Marketplace, and I got raging deals on it. And I had missed by 2 days. She sold his Fismo, and somebody bought it for like freaking $800. And I was so bummed because those things go for a lot now, and even $800 then is a good deal. But I ended up getting his Quasimidi Sirius, his Quasimidi Revolution 309. ASRX Pro, bunch of rack gear for like super cheap. His wife was just like wanted to get rid of it all, and I tried to be like, I didn't want to rip her off. I tried to tell her like, this is worth, and she was like, oh no, it's like if you're gonna use it, it's gonna go to a good home. But it was a hell of a score. But the Fismo, man, I've always wanted to have one of those. I continue to be so amazed by the synth world. Yeah, it's an interesting place, Recon. I know Trusto has expressed had some bad experience. Most of my experiences with synth world has been very positive. But I do see in comments on videos and stuff, my own interactions seem to be pretty good. I kind of go in between worlds somewhat with like the beat making world and then like the synth world, as far as like people I follow and content I consume and stuff. But it's a fascinating place for sure. Nord Electro is the opposite of deep. Never used one. I never knew anything about it. Love hanging out with all the synth experts and hearing y'all talk. Recon, it's good to have you, man. I would not consider myself an expert. I'm just, I don't know. There's very few people I'd consider experts, maybe like Mark Doty, and there are synthesis experts, Lisa Belladonna. But I'm just an enthusiast. That's all, I've been around for a while and know some things, but, the stuff I learn all the time from the community and people, Simon, Uncle, so many people that are, know a lot about synths. And it's cool because a lot of us try out different things and know different machines and stuff. Unfortunately, yes. Let's see. Akai rack samplers. Akai rack samplers are awesome. Still have a SCSI zip drive and discs in my Fostex VF16 rig. Nice. I have I still have a bunch of zip discs from my Roland VS840 that I have, a bunch of old band practices and stuff that I recorded. I want to go through and get those things off of those discs and transfer some of it over would be cool. And then I still use zip discs in like my ESI, my Emu ESI 4000 Turbo. I use that once in a while. I really like the Z plane filters in that. Cool old sampler, a cheap sampler too. Kind of a weird workflow when you first get it, but it has its uses. I like to run things through it for mixes and different things to get. It's got a sound to me. Yeah, zip discs, floppies. I use floppies too in my ASRX Pro. Not often, but it happens. Let's see. Still got SCSI CD-ROM and hard drive for my S760. Nice. Best sampler ever. I've never used that one. That's awesome. I love that, Simon. I like old samplers. I don't know if you guys follow the Daydream Sound or have ever checked out the Daydream Sound, but he's the guru of samplers and vintage samplers. You should go check out his channel. He has really, really cool content. Doesn't post a whole lot now on YouTube. He's got his own website, NTSCPAL. If you go to the daydreamsound.com and then go to NTCSPAL, you can sign up for, it's kind of it's like pay-per-view for sampler videos, and he's got just insane amount of content on all. He's got an incredible collection of vintage samplers, like all the Ensoniq stuff and a bunch of Emu stuff, old MPCs, tons of rack. But he's really interesting guy, and yeah, you should check it out if you're into sampling. You know, Daydream Sound is someone you should know about. Recon says algorithm. It's all. Wait, let's see. I skipped that. Okay. It's also what's going on with the audience. They could be pulled away from the internet for some reason, and when we wonder why, we got lower views, engagement. True. I mean, trying to figure out the algorithm, dude, it's like trying to figure out, like, you know, how the universe began. Sometimes that has nothing to do with our content. That's true. I was just speaking from my experience of what has worked for my channel. You know, it can be just totally random or different, you know. But I do notice, like, that anytime I talk about something, it's like night and day between when I just like put up a music, like something of me playing some music or something. It's like, you know, literally like a huge significant, and it's a constant difference every time for years. So YouTube obviously tries to push talking content, you know. I don't want the algorithm to know I exist. I do not blame you. Nothing good ever came from being called a subroutine. Simon, I hit 300 last week. Hell yeah, Simon. That's awesome, man. That's a milestone itself. See, so for me, I don't know if you guys weren't around on the channel, but like about 3 years ago, and I had like 40 subscribers, and I'd been uploading for a while, music and stuff, and just never, you know, it was not getting a lot of views. I had like a small amount of some core people who were into the test equipment stuff I was doing, and I made my first video talking. And I was talking about gear acquisition syndrome. I made a video on my experience with gas, and it went like semi-viral. Like all of a sudden it just got picked up, and I looked at it the next day and it's like, holy crap, it's got like 500 views or whatever, and I'd gotten like 10 subscribers, and I was like, that's absolutely insane. Like, wow, just from me talking. And then like by that night it was up to like, I don't know, 3,000 views, and then I was at like 150 subscribers. It went on for like a week, and like by the end of it, like people are still watching that video. The algorithm's still pushing it for whatever reason. And by the end of it, like I ended up with like I got to like 700 subscribers or something, and that video's got like over 27,000 views or something now. It's insane. But so you never know when just that one thing is gonna, you know, take off. I've never had any video do that good since. I've had some that have done like decently, you know, like I think I got a couple with like over 3,000 views and stuff. Maybe, you know, there's There's one I did on the Behringer 2600. It was like a 1 year review that did well. That's probably the next best one. But yeah, the talking. So you never know. So I had like an experience where it blew up, and that all of a sudden I went from nothing, like I think I had 42 subscribers to like within a week like 780 or something from one video. So you never know what if the algorithm it happened to grab it and pick it up. And it's funny because that video is literally just me sitting in a chair like this and talking, no editing, nothing, no nothing. I don't even have a thumbnail on or nothing. It's just me sitting there. It's bizarre. You never know. But it wasn't like viral. It was like viral in the music community world. You know, it's like 27,000 views in the scheme of thing is nothing. But like for a channel like mine or like small music channels, you know, like is pretty crazy. So, and I've noticed since then that anytime, a lot of times if I do a video just talking, you know, I did one just recently where I was talking about my studio, and it, you know, it's weird. People like to hear you talk, and at least in my experience, and they like to YouTube obviously pushes that stuff over our music, which is a bummer because I'd rather have less views on some of that and then have more people watch the music. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Monthly shows, bags sold double-digit views. The pressure of fame. Let's see. You need a strong community to have good engagement for sure on your live streams. Absolutely. People need to want to join. Needs to be into their habit. Yeah, I agree. That's a big part of it is you need to have like regular people like, oh, you guys being here, how we all jump in. I try and jump in on yours. We all go over to Monkey Island and stuff. Like it's hard. It's hard though, I think, to build that kind of a community. Like it takes time anyway, you know, time and effort. But let's see. Oh, did I miss someone jumping in here? Oh, Nicorino Sneakerino. Hello. Thanks for joining in. Like that name, Nicorino Sneakerino. All right, let's see. Sadly, Simpsons Reality and the rest of us are basically in the noise as far as, yeah, you never know. That could change. I mean, they're going to be shifting their thing up. Like I said, I swear, like YouTube and just like it's like they try and hold back and down. They will not push like music streams or music videos where it's just the music. There's something there. There's some reason for that. But it's obvious because if you even go to like the really big channels, videos where they're talking and reviewing a piece of gear or something like that do really good. But you watch just a jam, those videos the views are always significantly lower. So it's not just me noticing this. I mean, not just in my channel. I've seen this across the board. They don't, and I don't think it's always necessarily, I don't know, maybe people are just more interested in hearing you talk than hearing your art or something. Maybe that's true, but I think it has a lot to do with the algorithm not pushing it as much. Let's see. Watching your own videos reduces its reach. Interesting. You know, that's what it seems like to me, Recon. I mean, I don't know for sure. I can't say that that's true, but I have noticed that when I stopped doing that, my videos do better. And then I watched one again, and that video didn't do quite as well. And maybe I'm reading into it, but then I saw someone else mention this, a creator, and another person mentioned it in the comments on they mentioned it in their video, and this was after I had noticed it. So there might be something to it. But I do notice that if I don't watch the video, it seems to get like the algorithm picks it up more. It's like they don't want you watching your own content or something. I don't know. I can't say that that's fact, but let's see. Let's see. Did I miss something Simon said? Oh yeah, hell yeah, hitting 300. Simon, you deserve to have 3,000, bro. Your music is phenomenal. You 30,000. I mean, your music, it's, you know, top notch, dude. Everybody go subscribe to Simon Greatbatch, aka Fat Dad. His music is so good. Subscribe to Uncle Chrome, does amazing good music, super rad. Reconsider it Sketchpad. You guys, anybody who's listening, these guys do really cool music, and I encourage you to go follow their channels because they deserve to have all of the followers. Let's see. Oh, think I've got a way to go before I pop any corks. George, wait, did I miss? Oh, yeah. To go from dozens of hundreds of views is work from ultimately worthless. The myth of audience building. Yes, it's weird. I've got to go. Blofeld is great, but too many menus. Sledge, mine is the Blackface 2.0. Nice. That's the one I like. It's like a mini Moog with Waldorf. Yeah. No, I've watched it. There was a point I was really considering one. You got your Fizmo for $400? Holy crap. What a steal. Never let that go, Uncle. Never let that go, except to me. If you want to let it go to me, that's okay. That's one I would actually think about adding in here. No, that's a keeper for sure. I still have a few SCSI zip drives and CD drives for some of my old stuff. Nice, George. Hell yeah. Floppies and a synth. Yeah. Oh yeah. My Kawai K5000 uses floppies. I think my AN1X. I've got some old synths and samplers that use floppies. I love my samplers. My biggest sampler is the Akai S6000. Nice, George. I'd like to check out your studio sometime, George. Crazy Rabbit in the house. What up, Wabbit? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining in. This thing chat keeps jumping on me. Sorry, I'm so far behind, guys. Rambling. I was asleep musically when samplers came out. I wasn't. I mean, I had like some cheap ones. I was just like financially unable to get all the ones I wanted back then, Uncle Chrome. I was never able to get like any of the high level ones, which was a bummer. See, Chord Karma has a floppy, but I never used it. 6500 is the S6000 is a beast. Yeah, I've never used one. Yeah, I mean everything I've heard of it. George, you got some dope stuff, man. Thoughts on the sequential form? Excuse me. To me, with only four voices. Nicarino. I think it's actually cool. It sounds great. 4 voices, yeah, kind of. But to get into that sequential sound for that price point, it does have some cool features. I actually think it's pretty dope. I'm not going to get it, but I highly considered it. I think it's got polyphonic aftertouch. If you can live with those slimmer keys, if that's a thing you're into, I don't know. I think it just I've listened to some demos and it just sounds really, really nice. You know, I don't know. I wouldn't tell anyone to go grab it, but if you're really looking to get into that sequential sound and world, you know, that or the Take 5 are obviously your cheapest starter options. But I think it sounds really nice. I would not be mad to have one. I'm not going to go grab it. I don't need it. I don't have any sequential in my studio, which I do lament sometimes because they make amazing stuff. You know, I've always wanted a Prophet 5. Since I first heard it on albums when I was a kid. But they're very expensive. And I don't know. If I was the one I want to get, and that's been on my list and on my mind for years, is the Prophet X, which is a different beast, but it's got sampling, and I'm way into sampling. So, but yeah, I think the form's cool. But yeah, the 4 voices, yeah, I hear you there. I hear you. Gas Videos, how you found me? Nice, GearTube. You've been around for a while. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. What's good? Good peeps. Crazy Rabbit. Wabbit. Simon is the GOAT. Really is. His music, I mean, it's you guys go check out Simon Graybatch, I'm telling you. And the Crazy Wabbit does great jams and has a great channel and insights. Love watching his thoughts and his little hand rants he does. The Wabbit is go subscribe over there as well. It is definitely a beast. I started with the S3000 XL. Damn. Sold that. Then I bought the S5000. Sold that. Then found the S6000 for $230. Hell yeah, that's a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal. I wouldn't mind adding some more racks, old rack samplers at some point. There's a few that I've had my eye on. Not anytime soon. I don't need them, but just I'd love to just use them. How do you explain the value of music to an algorithm? Yeah, good point. You can't, huh? The algorithm prefers you wear no pants. This is true, Wabbit. Unless you're a never nude, some people just can't take their pants off, or take them off. But yeah, no pants. If you have no pants, your algorithms definitely your videos will definitely go a lot further. Oh, was it the Z's that came next? Always fancies one of those, but they're still like rocking. They're like rocking horse shit. I don't know the order of those. That's going back. And I was never fortunate to have a lot of those. I could have at times. Let's see, cheers to you, Simon. Uncle Crow, gosh, this thing keeps jumping. Since there will never be a VST of Fismo or other Ensoniq DSP keeping the hardware, for sure. That's when who was asking in the Symptoms of Reality about the ASR10, if there was anything in the ASR10 that sounded like it. I don't think that there's anything out there that you can get close, but I don't think you can get the exact sound, in my opinion. Someone recommended a VST, I don't know if it's Cress or someone, and I was like, I haven't heard anything that quite does that algorithm, or that algorithm is on my mind. We may someday see a VST. I mean, VSTs are getting more and more advanced every single day. If you would have told me 10 years ago what some of them could sound like now, I wouldn't have believed you. So I'm never going to say never. With all the other stuff, there's the SQ80. Is it from the Arturia platform of VSTs? Sounds pretty damn close. Now, a good friend of mine has a real one, and he was even impressed with it. So I'm never going to say never, See, Z replace the series. They're not found for long. $300. Oh, damn. Your SKU, yeah, okay, SynthFun's got an SK80. We can hear, I don't know what you think, SynthFun, of that Arturia emulation. I mean, does it sound exact? Probably not. I mean, that's the thing, is like trying to get exact replicas of this hardware. I don't know. Get a Mofo X4 for a good price. Yeah, to me, this kind of looks like the kind of new iteration of something like that. Of the Mofo X4 is dope, by the way. I was fortunate to have one borrowed for a while. That is a great little synth. If I could have one of those cheap, I would love to have just to throw on tracks for a while. That's a great synthesizer. And that's, 4 voices, right? Yes, the sound for that price is something else. It really is. The sound, no sequential here either, Uncle. Yo, Synth Samurai in the house. What up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Congrats, Synth Samurai. 5,000 biatch. Nah, congrats, dude. That's a hell of an achievement, man. And you worked your ass off for it. Super awesome, bro. Super awesome, man. I didn't know. I thought at that point when you hit 5,000, like someone from the Synth Mafia, they show up. They got like robes and they come out and they're like, "It's time, Samurai." They got like a dead bird in their hand. They're like, Now you must join the Mafia. They tried to bring you in, huh? I know. Like, you had to go to like some secret like ceremony. There was like yeah. I know, man. I've heard the stories of what happens when you reach 5,000. No, man. But again, that's so rad. Have a rack of vintage one-use synths that are fun. Nice. Romplers. Yeah, Romplers are great. I like playing with Romplers. I used to have a bunch, but sadly sold them. I wish I would have kept those. I let them go for cheap too, like back in the early 2000s. Yeah, that's another story. I've been finding mofos for 400. Dang. Yeah, George. You know what? I saw one for like 500 a couple months ago, and I totally thought about grabbing one too. Is there any MPC3 live drama yet? Not that I've heard, but I expect as soon as, so what's going to happen, Samurai, is as soon as the views wear off for the showbillies on all the new hype, then they'll create the drama, because that's how it goes, and then they'll be like, oh, this happened, or they said this. I quit following some of the people. That dude Ave McCree, I used to follow him because I'd watch his videos, but the amount of drama that dude's been involved in, it's like, yeah. And then when he said there's no new MPC, this is like 3 months ago, he said there's definitely not going to be a new MPC, and I'm selling my MPC X SE. So, but I'm not selling it because there's a new MPC coming out. So you guys buy my MPC, And then came out with a video like just a couple weeks ago, like, oh, there is a new MPC. And then he comes out with one yesterday with like, he was one of the dudes that had one. Like, I was like, that's hella cheesy, man. Like, that's like ultimate shill. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm sure I'd give it about 3-4 more days, and then the MPC drama will start up for sure. USB floppy drive replacements are worthwhile investment. Get them in the EX. Nice. In Sonic, DSP effects are locked. Oh, okay. The effects are dope. Yeah, that's what I use the ASRX Pro for, is those in Sonic effects and the sound out of the converters of that. I use it as a processor. That thing is the Sonic effects were top notch, awesome. I've thought about getting, what's the processor they have, the DP. I'm blanking on the name, but yeah, I don't need it, but I do like to use the effects and the stuff in the ASRX Pro. And Sonic was such a cool company. Loving Sonic stuff. Paris community had access to some of it, but nothing for distributing. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, I'm way behind again. Hang on. I have a few Emu racks, 2 Proteus 2000, 2 Orberts, Carnival, and a MoFat. Nice. Hell yeah, dude. George G's knows what's up. He's got it. I've got the that dude that the dentist I told you that passed away, where I got the 2 quasi midis and the in Sonic. I also got the Planet Fat. I got the Planet Fat for like, I don't know, it was like $40 or something. I was like, hell yeah, all purple. So those models are cool. That thing's got some all right sounds in it too. I went through and sampled most of it onto my MPC, but yeah, that's rad. You got all those, George. Those are dope. Let's see. It sounds close, but there's nothing like the real thing. That's true. I believe that personally too. Those are fun boxes, but a challenge to really get to the guts. Congrats to the Samurai. Seems your collection picks up from where mine ends. Proteus. Oh yeah, you guys put them together. You could have a little museum. Proteus 1, 2, and 3, and the Ultra. Damn. Let's see. Imagine that 5K subs, blue pill, red pill moment. I just found the Proteus 2 and 3 together for cheap. Nice. I have to take a 2-hour ride if I want to buy them. Damn. I mean, if they're a good enough deal, I would probably snag those if they were cheap enough for sure. I love all that, the old rack stuff, Emu and Sonic and all of that. I have a JV 2080 fully loaded. Damn, you guys got all the cool stuff. Rare cards in it. Damn, I'm impressed. I'd love to get a little collection, a little video tour of your rack setup, guys, of your samplers and effects and stuff. Womplers. JV 2080. Damn. It's not software controlled. Cheers, Synth Samurai. That it's Sonic DP4. That's it. Yeah. That's one that was been on my list for a long time. Dude, in a band I was in back in Phoenix years ago had one, and yeah, that thing sounded so good. Really like it. Some of the effects in the ASRX Pro are very similar or close. I don't think they're the same, but the ASRX and the ASR10 have different effects, and I want to say it's the X that has the DP4 style sounds in it. But if you can find yourself an ASRX, especially the Pro, for a good deal, that thing is dope. That it has a sound. I think it's my best sounding sampler. Maybe next to, well, now that I have the Toneverk, that might be the Toneverk, you guys, is no joke on sound. It sounds incredible, and it ain't no door stop. So you guys quit. No, I'm not gonna get mad that people are talking shit on it, but Toneverk is. I'm gonna do this beat. Oh, what time is it? Okay, I'm gonna have to get lunch and then try and knock this beat out for the camera to try and submit to Popcorn Night. If not, I'll do it next week or something. But I thought it'd be cool to throw up a jam with all the smack talk on the Toneverk. I was like, I'm gonna do a Toneverk beat and show them. Sven is gonna call again on the Synth Samurai show. Tell you, it's user error. I love those shows. I got to call into the Samurai show sometime. Let's see. I do want those colorful emus in a rack someday, but prices pop. Yeah, prices on everything's going up. Got to jump. Curry has just arrived. Hey, Simon. Take care, man. Enjoy your curry. Appreciate you dropping by. I'm going to be getting off here shortly here in a moment, too. Got to bounce for now. Uncle, I'll fix food on that, so I'm going to do lunch. In my April, I did a collection called Proteus. Nice. That's awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to go get some grub myself. I really appreciate everyone that came on by. You guys are awesome. Rad community here. I'm going to drop that video, couple videos that are coming up. Probably see you guys all at Popcorn Night tonight. We'll see if I get my submission in. Big shout out to all y'all. Synth Fun, Uncle Chrome, Simon, Synth Samurai, George G's. Looks like the main guys that are here now. I think I shouted everyone else. Crazy Rabbit was in here. Recon, all you guys. Thank you for coming by. GearTube, hell yeah. OG on the channel. Nicarino, yeah, guys, thank you. I appreciate everyone coming on. GearTube said bought an MPC 500 off a guy. Getting into the sense, he had stationed all over his loft, tens of thousands worth. Oh my god, only got an OP1. Maybe a field one day. Yeah, nice. Hell yeah, GearTube. All right, guys. Hey, Twin Cities Oxygen. Thanks for jumping in, dude. Yeah, I'm just getting off. Gonna go get some lunch. I think I'm gonna go to a Mexican restaurant with the kids, and then I'll come back, work on that Toneverk jam beat. But thanks, guys. Appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one. Remember, PMA all day, every day. Peace.